That would be a
Q1.
joke.
Sad.
Like, come on, people need to know that they need to pay attention to these things. They can't just be distracted.
Can you just kick him, please?
Sad.
Alright then. We're here for Formula League Season 1, Round 1, Spanish Grand Prix. And we're starting off with the first qualifying session, Q1. 4 minutes for the drivers to give it their best shot. And now it's right now Matty Moore on provisional pole with a 37.40 after everyone's completed the first lap. The boost is on recharging, the tire wear is on 0, and they're all ghosted, so it's all about just giving it your all on every lap until you can hit just that one lap that you need, you know? Nuno and Charge GT really quick, and of course at the start, the people that start from behind get a bit of an advantage, but now Nuno and Charged is 100 faster than Nuno. 35.02 from Charge puts him on provisional pole. Nuno 100 behind is on the front row currently. You see a little teleport there from Kamikaze. Giruni is now third with a 35.43. Kami with a 35.47 is in fourth. Then it's Urist qualifying fifth at the current moment of 35.55. Corvid 36 flat in sixth. Then Matty, then Prolime, Anti, Crunk, Sexy, Roz, Alexei, Priya, and Emma, and Kami goes up to third fastest. Anti jumps up to fifth. Sexy jumps up to sixth. Some random person has joined the lobby, and we're seeing a lot of changes. Prolime 11th fastest currently. This is, if I'm not mistaken, his first ever competitive race. Right now, Kami is at the lead, but he makes a mistake here, so this lap will not be a great one for him. Charge GT, what time can he post here? It will not be an improvement, neither will it be an improvement for Nuno or Kami. Nobody improving, in fact. Maybe there are some drivers here. Oh, Priya and Alexei improve. There are some drivers here waiting for their boost to recharge. That could be viable strategy. Corvid goes fourth fastest now at 35.30. Emma Box seems to have stopped on the track. It's Charge GT with a 34.82, Nuno 34.93, Kami 34.97. These three are giving it their all in this qualifying session, blistering pace. And they've all hit the sub 35 times now. I don't think we've had sub 35 times in any practice. And of course in practice we have had tire wear. In this qualifying there is no tire wear, so that might be part of the reason why. We're on board with Sexy Digger, who's currently on 7th position, tied with Urist. And of course the bottom 8 drivers of this qualifying session will be knocked out. And right now, Sexy Digger improves up to 35.28, he's 5th now. Right now, the drivers set to be knocked out of Q1 are Razim, Prolime, Matimar, Crunk, Priya, Alexei, and Emma Box. Sexy Digger makes 2 mistakes here, so he'll have to abort this lap. Meanwhile, here's Matty, his best time of 35.87 is the final lap. Charge GT and Nuno drag race down on the straight, they do not improve. Anti, will he improve? No. Matimar, he's not deploying his boost. Is he aware that it was the final lap? He did not use his boost. Razim did, but he did not improve his lap.
Let's go race.
Urist does not improve either. But he just manages by 200 to beat Razim into the top 8. Girini also in the top 8. And it looks right now like the drivers knocked out will be Razim, Proline, Matimar, Krunk, Priya, Alexei, and Emma Box. So just like we said a bit ago, there's also Kader, who did not ready up in time for qualifying. Emma Box driving backwards on the track. Why did Anti pit? Because he's strong. Emma, you gotta finish the. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, there we go then. Let's take a look at the qualifying results. So Frugo, Charge JT, Nuno, Kami, Corvid, Anti, Jer, Sexy, and Urist.
Alright, so
Q2 now.
I'll mute myself.
Only the top 8 now fighting for that pole position. Who will get it? Will it be Joe? Will it be Nuno? Will it be Kami? Will it be Corvid? Will it be Anti? Will it be Jeru, Sexy, or Urist, who's waving there at the back? Of course, it's a ghosted session, so it's not like there's any punishment for that, as there's no car to damage with that. Joe off to a good start, but there's Nuno behind him and Kami. These three have been the fastest so far, and they've already detached themselves from the rest of the pack. It looks like Anti's trying to catch them though, and might nearly get that. Not using any boost, interesting enough. Now they're using it on this lap. Fastest lap right now goes to Anti on provisional pole. Of course, first lap, that might be quite inaccurate as drivers who start further behind get more acceleration going into the lap. But it is Anti on provisional pole and Urist on the front row as a result of that, and we're already halfway through the Q2 session, not a lot of time, and that's probably why the drivers were gathering their boost, keeping it for this flying lap. And here goes Nuno with a 34.78, Charge JT only a 35.25. His teammate Anti beats him, Corvid ties with Anti, but it looks like Anti will be on the front row as he set the time first. Urus down to P6, Kami currently qualified P8. But there's still time for, I believe, 1 or even 2 more laps, and that's the question. Will some drivers try to push it on this lap with the boost, or will they keep it in hopes of making that next lap with full boost? And it looks like that's what Nuno and Joe are doing here, fighting for this pole position. Joe down in only 5th at the moment. He really needs to improve his time. Nuno just needs to keep his pole position time, of course. Joe with some bad lines there. He's gotten into the gravel and Nuno pulls away now. That is not great news for Joe. Let's see. Nuno across the final turns. Looks like he hits grass, goes a bit slow, so it might not be an improvement, but it might be just enough for him. And neither of them improve. Sexy Digga does not improve. Neither does Kami or Anti. I think Kami actually up to 4th. He gave it his best in the 3rd. Oh, Corvid up to the front row, 34.98. Only Jiruni left to finish now. But yeah, Kami went for it in lap 3, and he's qualified in 4th. Jiruni now, will he improve? It looks like he will. Jiruni improves up to 5th at the very end. He must have really slowed down to just build up that boost and get a real fast lap. Let's take a look at the qualifying results here. It's Nuno, then Corvid on the front row after him. Anti starts from third, then Kami. Giruni starts from fifth. Charge JT, then 6Y. Eurist starting from 8th, of course. His time in Q2 was actually slower than his time in Q1, but it's just enough to get him through ahead of Razim, of course, as he got into Q2 in the first place. Let's take a look here. Alexei will be starting ahead of Emma Box. Let's go. 40 laps. Nuno from pole, Corvid from the front row. Both practice sessions have had quite some issues, but it looks like it's cleared up just in time for the race. Corvid starts in the mediums. Anti and Joe with really quick starts on the softs. Their car, of course, has free speed, so it looks like it can challenge Nuno, and we're going to have light rain immediately. Will they pit for it, or will they stick it out, see if it's fake rain? That's the question. Anti and Charge JT with their cars. Just incredible start from them, and it looks like that Garage 97 car is extremely competitive, but Anti is just keeping Nuno slip for now, doesn't want to risk anything. Nuno into the pits, Anti, Joe, Giruni, Corvid, Sexy Digga stays out on the hards, Prix staying out on the softs, and Sexy Digga leads the first lap. Where are we going to have a fake rain? Razim also stays out, but he's just in front of the rest of the pack. We have no idea. I have no idea what happened further down the grid. To be honest, gotta focus on this provisional fight for the lead, as it looks like the rain is staying for now. Nuno still in first. Prix has made a mistake, and Nuno and Anti are past her, but Sexy Digga is still holding on. Still no weather announcement, and it is still light rain here in Spain. And Sexy Digga is now forced to go into the pits. He can't do it much longer. Prix of the fastest lap, 37.07. Anti overtakes Nuno for the race lead. Joe has lost some time to the two in the lead. Corvid is in front of him right now for third, but he's fighting him, and there's also Kami behind. Emma Box has DNF'd the race. Nuno is now back in front of Anti. And we're going to have heavy rain now. Everyone is on the inters except for Razim, who is on the softs. Emma Box is out of the race, of course. Anti is back in front of Nuno again. Kami and Corvid both forcing themselves through into the fight for third with their turbo. Joe now taking the fight to Kami, backs out of it, goes for it again on the inside here. Oh. A bit of grass hit by both drivers. Crunk and Razim do pit for the wets. Alexei pits for the inters again, and we're going to have clouds, so the rain will leave eventually. Joe now goes for it with a dive bomb down the end. Anti now takes the lead back from Nuno.
Ten mikrofon wszystko bierze. Możecie dzisiaj gadać.
Nuno and Anti just fighting for the race lead here as the weather slowly dries up. Joe with Kami, what happened to Corvid? He's lost 3 seconds off the back of them. Matimar currently running in 6th after not getting through into Q2. That's an impressive start from the Polish driver. Eurist right behind him goes for a move on the inside. Matty's trying to tell him that's not what he should be doing there, to not fight him, and oh, they do get into a collision. Eurist forced into the grass. Both HRT Wind drivers, Giruni and Kader, are right behind them. Eurist forces one off, it looks like, and Matty is now fighting Eurist for 6th position here. If they coordinated with Slipstream, they could perhaps catch Corvid up ahead, who looks to be struggling. And now Matty and Urist are into the pits for dry tires, one would presume. We have Nuno and Antti still the top two leading here. Antti going for some attacks here and there. That attack there, he made a mistake. He makes another one and Nuno's out of his slipstream. And that could be a crucial moment in the race. Antti makes another mistake. It's an awful lap for the Finnish driver and he is now 2 seconds behind Nuno going in for dry tires. Komi is in third ahead of Charge JT. It's been a great home race for him. Corvid and then Girouni and Kader, the two HRT win drivers, in 6th right now. It looks like Matty and Urist, their undercut has worked. They are now straight up to Corvid, except Matty makes a mistake on turn 1, forces Urist off at turn 2, but they're still in a slipstream of Corvid. And if they can just focus on making this move possible, Matty with another mistake. Urist goes down the inside, forces Matty a bit, but maybe that was a bit justified considering the incidents we've seen the past couple of laps. Urist goes deep into the inside, and there's a pack of 4 cars here. Kader a bit behind the rest. Girouni forces himself through into 6th position. Of course, it is top 10. Points here, just like Formula 1, and fastest lap only counts if you finish in the top 10. Antti currently holds the fastest lap at 36.75 and he is 2nd, so he will get that bonus point for a total of 19. Matty makes a mistake. Girouni has an opportunity to escape the pack now thanks to him. Kader gets forced out wide there. It's Nuno in first with the softs. Antti just hoping to keep the gap as small as possible in second, but he has opted for the hards, so he will lose time based on just pure pace. Komi and Charge GT behind him also opted for the hards. Corvid in 5th has opted for the softs, but it looks like his car is just unable to bridge that gap. Its most defining characteristic is the turbo, of course. Girouni and Kader fighting for 6th here. Kader might see himself ahead of Girouni on his screen, but from our perspectives, they are battling for the position. And if they're not careful enough, that might lead to Matty and Urist coming from behind to attack them. It's a very interesting, I'd say, 4-way battle here for P6, and Sexy Diggas holding down the final points position in 10th. It's Proline 3 seconds behind him in 11th. Razim giving it all in the Monarch car, but he's only managed P12 and he is nearly a pit stop behind Proline, so it looks like the Monarch car is really struggling in its first outing. Priya in 13th, Crunk in 14th, and according to the Car Performance Index, the best car, and he is not far from Priya, so I guess we will see maybe potentially a fight between the two. Alexi in 15th, but it's Emma in last, having DNF'd. That was a look at the grid. Joe has now overtaken Komi for 3rd, and it looks like Komi is driving smartly for now, just slipstreaming him, making sure to not lose him and to not lose time battling. And he's just keeping behind. He's got a filled up boost. Joe with only under a half of his boost filled up, and Komi might just be waiting for the time to strike, or it might be once they pit. They are 5 seconds behind Antti. Antti with some quite good pace, still staying 2 seconds gap from Nuno despite having the hards to Nuno's softs. So you can see maybe an effect of uneven cars there, as Nuno's still not pitting off the softs. He will take them another lap. Kader with the fastest lap of 35.92. At the moment, the fastest lap in qualifying was Nuno's pole time of 34.7. I do not remember the exact 100th, but it was something to that extent, and it looks like it's very hard for the drivers to equal that in the race with the fastest lap at the current moment. Nuno's just in the lead. Calmly, Antti keeping that 2 seconds gap is very crucial to his chances to maybe even win the Spanish Grand Prix. Charge JT has built up a small gap to Kami. Would that mean that Kami is out of slipstream? Not sure. Kami deploying boost. Charge GT also deploying boost. Crunk is ahead of Priya now. In 13th, we see them a lap down, and it looks like Charge GT has avoided Kami catching up to him through the boost deployment. Corvid now pets, and he comes out in 5th. Sexy Digger right behind him. Looks like the hard strat has made him move up ahead of the pack of 4 cars, but it's important for him to slipstream Corvid now and not make mistakes and just make the most out of the slipstream. Of course, it's only hards that he's slipstreaming, and you can see the top 9 drivers right now opted for the hards. So it looks like the drivers do think that is the meta here in terms of tire compound. Sexy Digger, I'm not sure. It looks like he's lost Corvid's slipstream now. Corvid has boosted his way out. Nuno's into the pits, and now he's just in front of Charge JT. Charge JT is focusing more on slipstreaming him than actually attacking him. He is on worn out hearts himself. Anti, of course, into the lead of the race, and if any rain were to come, that would positively impact him, but also he does... Oh, Cloud's coming soon. He does have this advantage of perhaps an overcut, though I'd say not necessarily. He looks to be struggling with the worn out hards now. Nuno is within 4 seconds, so Nuno would inherit the race lead if Anti were to pet. Nuno's now 3 seconds behind. I think it's Anti will have to be petting soon as the hards really look to be wearing out. Nuno in second, Chargeti in third. And thanks to him keeping behind Nuno, it looks like he's run away to some extent from Corvid, the top 4 in a league of their own. Corvid chilling in 5th. Girouni is in front of Sexy Digger, who now finally pets off of the hards as the weather marker moves back towards the sun. Sexy Digger exits out in 10th like he was running earlier. Eurus, the only driver in the top 10 on the softs, everyone else is on the hards, and we're going to have light rain. So that is not great for Sexy Digger. That is amazing news for Anti, who did not pet for a new set of dry tires yet, and he's petted for the enters here, but Nuno has decided to stay out on the hard, see if it's fake rain. Sexy Digger has decided to DNF the race because of the rain, and he's thrown away that extra point for Audi. That means that Proline in his first competitive race is moving up into the points. However, he is petting for the enters. A lap late. Will Razim be able to overtake him here? Yes, he does, and it's Razim into 10th, and we might have a battle for 10th position as a result. Nuno now has to pet for the enters as the light rain does not leave, and it's Anti at the halfway mark of the race, leading. Oh, but he makes a big mistake, and it's going to be heavy rain now, so Girouni, who has stayed out to this for all this time, he's going onto the wets instead of the enters. Anti is still 2 seconds in front of Nuno, and Nuno, of course, has the disadvantage of being in the worst car, but the things he is doing with the Blue Blizzard car are quite incredible indeed. Charge JT is behind him though, and now he is able, with quite similar enter tires, and Nuno makes a mistake, hits a bit of grass on the exit of the final turn, and Charge JT is in front into second. Garage 97 1-2 as things stand. Charge JT makes a mistake, Nuno around the outside, and he does make the move stick. That was quite a nice little move, but he does make a mistake here, and it looks like all the drivers are a bit more unused to this type of car, of course. With the preseason upgrades, these cars only have 2 or 3 speeds. With eco cars, you're always there at the maximum of 10, so it might be just that the car is a bit weird to get used to here. That is making the drivers commit more mistakes than usual, but it's just a teething issue. And Anti has, however, lost quite a lot of his gap to Nuno and Charge GT behind. Nuno only a second behind, and we might have a three-way fight to the for the race when if Nuno and Charge GT are able to catch Anti fully. Kami is just running in 4th in a world of his own, but he is only 2 seconds behind the top 3, so don't count him out just yet. If something ends up happening, Anti goes wide, he's down from 1st to 3rd, and that is awful news for him. But his pace has been rather shaky ever since he inherited the race lead, and maybe earlier as well. He is, however, still in the slipstream of this top 3 pack, but he goes too wide, and he's outside the slipstream. And that's Nuno and Charge GT, the two fighting for the win right now. But I think Charge GT is just happy to slipstream Nuno. His tires are a lap older than Nuno's. So here's Nuno leading lap 23. Razim is with the fastest lap. And he's really ran away from Prolime here. It's not a fight for P10 like we thought. Razim with the fastest lap and in 10th. That's 2 points for Monarch. That will be very helpful for them and the constructors. They do have to bring some really massive upgrades to the car. Nuno and Charge GT still running in top 2. Let's take a look down the grid. Anti is running in 3rd. Kami is now closer to him than he is to the leading pair. In 4th, we're going to have heavy rain. So some drivers on worn out enters might eventually, if the rain lasts for long enough, they might consider pitting for wets, and it looks like that's what Corvette is doing, and he pits for the wets from 5th. And I think because he has such a gap behind, this is, yeah, he's just overtaken by Kader at the exit. But, oh, he does make a mistake, however. But I think with fresher tires and tires more suited to the track environment, he'll be easily able to overtake Kader back for 5th. Anti now also decides to pit for the wets, yes. For the wets, it puts him down into 4th, but there's not much lower that he can go. From there, Kader still holds down 5th. It's a battle of 2 high pingers here. Corvette does not fight him for that. Kader uses all of his boost. Corvette looks to be saving up some of his. I don't know what happened there, but Corvette with massive hit into the wall, and now Giruni is in front of him as well. Giruni, of course, has been on the wets this entire time, and it might be just a case of getting forced out wide. Of course, he sees himself much higher, much further ahead than drivers on normal ping. Charge JT is into the lead of the race as Nuno is also pitted for fresh wets. The weather markers moving away from heavy rain. Might have been a weather announcement. Oh, we do have a lag storm now. 27 laps in. Is it clearing up? Bit more lag, and looks to have cleared up. We're back to heavy rain, so that is Nuno and Anti and Giruni and Corvette profiting. Corvette now past Kader, and he's just behind Giruni. Giruni is of course still on more worn out wet tires, so he might also have to consider pitting off of them. Charge JT is holding out on those enters, and so is Kami. Nuno quite close behind him. Looks to be challenging for 2nd in a lap or 2. Kami really needs to be on his toes here. And Kami is into the pits actually, and so is Charge GT, so it's Nuno back to the race lead now. Leading lap 29. Doesn't look like the rain's letting up. Anti is through into 2nd, but 4 seconds behind Nuno. We're going back to cloudy, but that'll take a long time for the track to dry up. Where Charge GT and Kami, it was probably best for them to pit even if they did it later. Otherwise they would have just struggled more. Giruni is in 5th. He's holding it down from Corvette. He's in 6th now. Kader over a pit stop behind. Lost a lot of time. He must have pitted for the fresh wets as well. He's in 7th. It's Matty Moore behind him. He's sticking it out on the worn out enters, and it's going to be sunny soon, and he just might make this work. But there's Eurus behind him on the fresh wets, will be looking to make a move before the track dries off. And he's going for it on the inside here. On the inside, on the final turn. And yes, he does make it stick after all. Matty's on very worn out enters. It's going back to cloudy, which means it'll slow down a bit. I don't understand why Matty is attacking on the inside of Urist. And he gets forced out into grass. So that is something that he might have been forced to do anyways, as his enters are really, really worn out, and even Razim behind might catch him if the rain conditions take just too long to clear up. However, Razim is 5 seconds behind, so it might be just fine for Matty to keep 9th. However, I think it was the wrong choice to stick it out on the enters. Urist, the first one to pit onto dry tires. He pits onto hards now, and he's just in front of Razim. It does slow Razim down a little bit. Track's nearly dry now. Of course, with it being cloudy, it's taking quite a bit to dry up. Probably longer than Urist bargained for here. Corvid into the pits for mediums. Giruni for mediums as well. Kader into the pits now, going for mediums as well. Matty is into the pits now, and he goes for the Pulsar Racing pit is at the end of mediums. So a lot of drivers going onto the mediums to finish off the race. They're not confident in the softs making it through 9 laps, and they think the hards going 9 laps is a bit of a waste as well. Nuno is in the lead of the race. It's now a lead of nearly 6 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds over Anti in second. Charge JT is making a double podium for Garage 97. Commie in 4th currently as home race. Quite a good result. Even if not a podium position. Corvid is in 5th, and look at that, he's only 4 seconds from Commie, so that gap from the top 4 to the rest of the pack has decreased massively. I'd say Giruni in 6th, so he's behind Corvid now. Kader in 7th, then Zurist, who's pitted onto hards, of course, instead of the mediums, and with Matty a second behind him, it looks like we're gonna have a fight for 8th pretty soon, and these are the closest drivers together. Razim still holding out 10th and the fastest lap. Commie is of course also about 1 or 2 seconds behind Charge AT, so that might turn into a battle for the podium positions if he can keep his pace. 6 laps until the end. Matty's closing down Urist. He's on the fresher tires. He pitted later. Whatever happens here, I can assume it will be controversial. Matty makes a huge mistake there, however, goes deep into the gravel, and now he has to slowly make his way back to Urist again. He's under a second gap. Needs a bit of boost, I think, to make it work here. Urist not a lot of boost. Matty just deployed all of his as well. So yeah, Commie's now lost an extra second to Charge JT, so it doesn't look like he'll be able to challenge for 3rd. What other fastest laps do we have? Charge JT with the second fastest lap after Razim at 35.85, then Kader with 35.92, Nuno with a .98, so only 4 sub 36 drivers in the race. But now Matty and Urist are fighting. Urist back in front on the straight. Matty goes down the inside here, forces Urist wide, nearly goes into grass himself. Urist will not be wanting to keep... Oh, that is a big dive bomb on Matty, however. That is really aggressive from Urist. And you've got to ask yourself as well, what could have prompted that? We also had a light rain announcement. What could have prompted him to pull off such an aggressive play? They've been out of sorts with each other. Both drivers fighting very aggressively against one another, and they're both pitting for enters now. Both of them really fighting for this possession. Razim is not into the pits. Anti is, Charge JT is, Kami is, and it's going to be heavy rain. So I think the drivers who are into the pits have made the right decision. Kami has gone for straight up wets. However, with the gap that Nuno has, I don't think Anti will be able to catch him even with 3 laps until the end. Nuno can just pit, and he can also just not pit. To be fair, he does, however, decide to pit. Doesn't want to unnecessarily risk it. Prix is going backwards in the pit lane there. Quite a bizarre decision. Trying to get a fastest lap, I guess, but I don't think you'll beat a 35.78 in rainy conditions. And Nuno has exited the pits on wets, and he's got 4-second gap to Anti. And Anti's going really slow through that long right-hander. Charge GT is close behind him, and he might take his front row position if Anti's not careful. Kami is also still within 2 seconds of them. And Matty is under a second from Eurus, and this battle has been quite fiery through the entire race, and they've of course been battling. They were battling with Girini and Kader were behind them, and Girini and Kader got in front of them. Matty makes a mistake, and he loses more time to Eurus, and now that they're on equal tires, I think unless Eurus makes a big mistake here, I think Matty will finish in 9th. Doesn't look like he's quite got the pace to catch Eurus right now. Nuno's on the final lap, and it might not be a huge surprise to see that Nuno is about to win the inaugural race of Formula League. Nuno wins the Spanish Grand Prix in the Blue Blizzard car, and it's the 2 Garage 97 cars. Anti finishes 2nd, Charge GT right behind in 3rd, Kami 4, Carpathian's Peaks finishes 4th, Corvid for Audi finishes 5th, his teammate DNF'd because of the rain. Girini finishes in 6th for HRT Wind, and Kader's about to make it double points for HRT Wind, so a very successful outing for them as well. Corvid saying he's not happy with something Kami had done. Eurus finishes across the line in 8th ahead of Matty, and Razim with 10th, 1 point from that and 1 point from the fastest lap. Prolime, no points for him, but he still should be proud of his competitive debut, 11th, and he's beaten Krunk and Priya and Alexei, and of course the DNFers, and I think it's been a successful outing in general for him. Krunk finishes in 12th. Actually has a lap to go, but yeah, he'll be finishing in 12th, Priya in 13th. Alexei DNF'd as well, I must have missed that. Or I didn't and I just forgot about him DNFing. But there you have it, 40 laps in Spain. And that was the first Formula League outing despite issues in practice. The race went out with just a small lag storm and some concerning driving from some drivers, but overall, there you have it. Nuno wins double podium for Garage 97. Their team principal Butter will be very happy with that. And also Razim Kraft will be happy with what he's managed to achieve for Monarch Motorsports. That was the Formula League Season 1 Round 1 race. Thank you for watching.